Hello, in this video I want to show how I make the best bread I tried in my life. I call it sweet sourdough bread. I choose to use sourdough starter instead of dry yeast, and for this recipe you'll need 160 grams of sourdough starter. ,400 grams of all-purpose flour, 1/4 of a cup of sugar, 50 grams of butter, 150 grams of milk, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of vanilla. I'll be mixing the dough for 15 minutes. And here's a little tip. You can tell the dough's ready if you stretch the dough and it doesn't tear. It's like a stretchy gum. I'm covering the dough with a towel and leaving it to rise overnight for about 10 hours. And this is what I got the next morning. The dough is fluffy and it doubled in size. I'll be using my rattan basket to proof the bread. So I'm slightly flouring the surface. And now I'll be folding the dough inward, creating one perfect round ball. When you roll the dough against non-flour surface, the dough sticks and it helps to shape the dough into a ball. So the bottom part is the top of the bread and the top is the bottom. I'm covering it with the wet towel and I will let it proof for about 10 hours. The bread is ready to go in the oven and I'll preheat my oven to 450 degrees. And I'll add a tray with water to my oven to create a steam environment. The steam will help the bread to rise even more. Slightly flour the bread. I'll be using my iron pot and this pot is super hot. I was preheating it in my oven. Slightly flour the surface. And my hands here are also in flour, and as I said, the bottom of the bread is the top and the top is the bottom. And be careful, don't burn yourself because that pot is really hot. And if you want your bread to proof even more, then you should always score your bread to release the extra tension. And I know this tool is not the best to score the bread and I should invest something better. Bake at 450 degrees for 16 minutes with closed lid. Open the lid, reduce the heat to 375 and bake for another 10 minutes. Thanks for watching and stay until the end for a few more tips. And I just wanted to show to compare, this bread haven't been scored on top and you can see how tensed it is and it's much smaller in size too. And if you don't have an iron pot to bake your bread, you can also use any baking tray, but you have to proof your bread in a tray. And also, when you put your tray in the oven, add some extra water to create the steam. Right here, I'm pouring extra water.